G'day, welcome to episode 48 of my Oxygen Not Included playthrough. Not too much in the way of, I guess, corrections in the comments from last time. Probably the biggest one was, and we'll just pause this for a second, the way that I should approach this. Now, I'm going to cancel all of this quickly just before the guys get up here. Sorry, May, you look very disheartened that I've just cancelled your plans. What I'm going to do, the suggestion was that what I should be doing is placing airlocks here, but I can actually rotate airlocks and place them horizontally. So, what I'll do is I'll deconstruct that, and let's just fill in that little gap there. I'll just give that a second. What is that? Just chlorine just stuck in a tiny little pocket. And then what we'll do is we'll take our manual airlock, turn it sideways, and put it there. Now, hopefully someone does that first. Let's put the priority up on that, just so they get that done before they do this one. I'm having to keep an eye on how high this is getting to. And what else did we have going on? This setup and what we were going to do. What's funny is one of the comments was that they agree with, they liked the idea of what I suggested on the way that I'd set it up, and I read that and I thought, I don't remember what I said. I might have to go back and watch my video to learn it. Okay, so manual airlock in there. So what we will do now is we will disable, we'll deconstruct that, and then what we'll do is we will dig out that square, cancel that one, and so we'll just do a normal sort of 2 airlock system, so that as opposed to, again, this was from suggestion, as opposed to sort of like trying to work around the vacuum, just essentially embrace the vacuum, but set up an airlock system so that my my gases and things won't continue to just sort of escape out that way. Come for one, not for the other. Someone else's job. There's a lot of salt water we've got sitting down here. Okay, great. So that's done. So let's hit that. We'll hit copy. And we'll chuck that there. Then what we'll do is we'll rejoin the route we were going. What are you, buddy? Have I seen you before? Right, I think I had one of you in my base at one point where I just saw that you were eating things that I didn't want to get eaten, so I killed you. But I can see that from what you've been doing up here, you've just been sort of putting out ore and iron. Alright, so once that's in place, we will just return to... Actually, no, I'm going to cancel that. We'll just go a bit more direct route. There's no point to just sort of... Just because I've started a ladder there doesn't mean we need to keep using that ladder. Let's just go straight up to there. Then we'll dig those two. That one. And then sort of there. Alright, good luck, adventurers. Now, the other thing that we need to go back and focus on will now be... Actually, I realize I can get rid of this if I just make some mesh tiles across here. Sort of build that. And then we can just say dig all of those. Just clear it out of there. Not that it matters, but it just... I don't know. For me, I want... No, I don't want them to be able to get over there, right? Because I don't want that menla. Yeah, alright, I'll change my mind again. It's just more that these bother me. Oh, it just doesn't seem that clean. I mean, I could definitely just build 2 here with even ladders. Just to get them to get rid of it. And they still won't be able to get all the way across. Cancel that one. And maybe we just have to build 2 up there too. Okay. So we want... It needs crude oil. And it needs liquid output. So for our plumbing, its liquid pipe will run from it to this guy. You then want some sort of automation set up for this. I'll have to think about what the policy will be for that. Now, the other thing that we can do is let's have a look at a natural gas generator. Because what we could do is we could set one of these up somewhere. Potentially it could take advantage of that natural gas I have here. But also then I could get it to take the natural gas that's sitting down here too. Now there's a lot of oxygen down here already, and so I can see from here that the natural gas is below the polluted oxygen, so I would assume then that this natural gas isn't going to go up anywhere anyway. It's just going to stay down here. And it does have a gas output tube. So if I was to take that gas, I could then put it into a natural gas generator, which we could put there. Why would we put it there? I don't know. I mean, we've got the carbon skimmer and the plants down here. If it's producing carbon dioxide, we may as well have it in the same section, right? One thing that we will do to try and address some of this is I realize that this is a very hot area courtesy of a lot of the stuff that's going on. So let's just copy those and just make that floor there insulated. Now that does mean that the cable tubing from here has to go all the way back up there, but game on. No liquid intake, no gas output. So the first thing that we will do is it's the oxygen. Gas, the gas would be ventilation, sorry. Now, that gas piping isn't being used by anything at the moment. There's a vent there. Apart from that, all we have to do is get over to here. So, let's build a gas bridge there. The other way. In fact, it's going to have to be up to that guy, so put him just a little bit further north. He had both an input and an output for natural gas. Oh, so he's going to actually just genuinely produce carbon dioxide that I can then pump somewhere. Okay. So, from there we go, ventilation. Isn't it funny that what I was currently working on was my oil refinery, and now what I'm doing is I'm doing the cabling for my suddenly natural gas thing. Now the good thing about having the natural gas run along here is that it means that I can connect, where was my natural gas, this guy, to that as well. Like he can connect to that same system if I actually do want to rely on this a little bit more. So let's build a ladder there. We cancel that last one, they're never going to stand that high. And then ventilation straight down, cross, Yeah, it's all nailed. What's quite funny is that they're going to have to do this from two different sides of this wall. Get through that locked door. And I'm not budging, guys. You're going to have to do it. It's like you're leaving your suits in the wrong places. The only way you're going to learn. Okay, so... straight across here. Straight up. There. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say... actually, probably that would have worked. Ventilation, click on the gas pipe, say deconstruct, so it's focusing on that. And we can go 1, 2, 3. We'll leave the rest up there. Oh, I've just connected to the wrong part of this, haven't I? So I don't need that anymore. We can deconstruct that. We can deconstruct that. Go back into our layout. I suppose what we can do is just do that. And then what we can do is say deconstruct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that I don't have to come back and check to see how this is going. It should just sort of play all the way through. Okay, so that then runs down here and stops there. But instead what we're going to ask it to do is... come out of here. Go up and up and up and up and up. There. And then just for the sake of my potential concern that I'm going to run out of whatever I make pipes out of. So let's get rid of that too. Okay. So, part 1. It now has its... natural gas going somewhere. So the next part of this is going to be the gas input. So obviously the gas input's going to come from the storage. So let's look at this storage the same way as what we've got going on up here, I think. Still feels like that's moving a fair bit of fluid. Anyway, good to see. So we've got a liquid shutoff. We've also got this guy. So get an understanding of the way that this works. The liquid shutoff, just gotta remember how I function this. It's almost like I want this to... I want a sensor that sort of says this when this is a certain amount full. Let's think. Duplicate motion sensor. Suggest what you can set up, like motion sensored lights and things to... And liquid pressure enters chosen range. I wonder if I'm setting this up the wrong way. If hydrosensor can tell a pump to refill its basin as soon as it contains too little liquid. That sort of sounds on the path of what I want. I think. So if we put that connected to this guy, let's say put him up. What we put him in here, we would then say that we want This guy's... No, wait. Let's copy that. Do we want him, like, on the... Is he got to be part of the tubing? To me, that looks like tubing that's passing through him. Must be submerged in liquid. Okay, so that's not going to work anyway. So let's cancel that. Let's think again. Where was that pressure one? I feel like I'm going nuts with this. I was just reading something that was about... That was about, like, pressure. Maybe I've just got to do a time sensor again. Alright, let's just mirror this thing up here. So, we go from here, and then we run into a liquid shutoff. So we will copy a liquid shutoff. I think. We then want a timer attached to the liquid shutoff, so I'll put that just above him. And so we would now have plumbing for this guy to go from here. We'll swing him up and around the top. There. Now, I feel like it means that the tubing for this is going to have to be longer because we want that to have like a certain amount of like sort of available interesting music that we're currently listening to. This is thudding. Oh, you're straight into the stinky. Not even going to wait for me to make up my mind, just sick of indecision. That, say. Then the automation wire goes from him to him. Now, did I have to have a reverse? I didn't have to have any... There was something else, that was this part. Cool. That is getting quite full with water too. This is getting quite low again as well. Might have to then revisit where we want to pump more water from. Don't worry guys, we'll leave you be. Might get into this one. Oh no, there's babies in there. There's babies everywhere. Alright. Okay, automation. So that now needs power too. Let's just check where its power point is. Just up one. We're going to go green and red both 10 minutes. Because in theory what should happen is it'll just go to a point where that's full. If they start up working on it, cool, it'll just continue to give it. But then after 10 minutes it'll stop. Okay. So, next up. Now, to me the oil reservoir would be the thing that you really want to get down to, right? But this room here is where the crude oil is really there. Also seems like a fair bit down here, so let's continue our exploring south first, I would say. So let's build a ladder here, go straight down. I guess we'll just go straight down. So those are considered occupied. So let's cancel those. And then what we'll do is we will say dig right across here. And then we'll wait till they're down there before we decide our next move. By the way, that little section that I made for the water didn't hold. There's water on top of that. That's okay. No automation Y connected. Did I not connect that properly? Got half the way there. I think. Yeah, okay. And then it is just the liquid intake for this guy. Now, oh sorry, there was a little bit more to this guy too. Who made a mess? Ellie, what's happening? Oh no, Ellie. Let's dig these out. And this is not a drill. Thank you for making a mess, Ellie, otherwise we would not have known that this was taking place. Luckily, Ellie's the one that really is on the go for taking care of something like that. Now what we might do then is dig that out, just so that if that happens again, because we are still digging straight up, they might be able to just hop around it. We definitely look forward to getting in here though. Wow, that's really out in space once we hit that top bit. Dig that out too then to make it official. You mentioned there's two different major jobs going on at the moment. There's one where you get to explore space, see the greatness of the galaxy, and then the other one is that you're in an oil pit. Okay, so firstly, power. We can sort this out pretty quick. Those are two different power grids that they're on. When do we want these guys on? Okay, like that. And let's have a quick check. So that's fine. I've done that wrong, haven't I? Have I done this wrong too? I have. I can't believe that I even looked at the pictures and I still get them backwards. On a very regular basis too. No, have I got that wrong too? Wait, I shouldn't be that to that. Have I put it back the exact same way I had it already wrong? My goodness. I can't believe that I sit there and I look at the picture that's up here. I honestly, every single time I play Seas, I sit there and I stare at that and go, yep, Alright, that's right. Did I just deconstruct if that hasn't been deconstructed? Did I deconstruct the, No, it's just someone got distracted. Right. I can even see in the middle of this thing, there's an actual arrow right there that I could have just looked at this entire time to give me the answer of the way this is pointing. Oh boy. Trapped. Someone else is trapped. Turner's trapped. That didn't help. Okay, so I guess because I've got to put the ladder on this side too. So let's go ladders here. And then we will say dig dig. Okay, and we'll also, just to try and really hedge our bets here, we'll build that one there and that one there. Though I don't think that that's ever going to... Yeah, it's fine. I lost my train of thought there too. Right, so the output on this thing will be... Produces carbon dioxide. So, I mean, I've got no issues with that just sort of being pumped to here. I mean, I can pump it probably just out here. There's no point in pumping it into my base, I suppose. We go ventilation gas pipe. Let's zoom in so we can see that arrow to... I'm doing this right. 2 of them. Then we'll go... Let's put a vent there. We'll just see if that works. It's actually, I'm really impressed at how quickly they built all that cabling for this guy. Okay. Still working our way down. We got some more plastic too. Got some lead and some fossil as well. Something new. Right, stress. That's what I wanted to look at. So, skills. Who is stressed? Rowan and Travaldo and Turner. Rowan, Travaldo, Turner. Okay. Alright, you guys see how you go with that. Now, is Turner's, how's Turner looking? Is he doing better than the other two? Because Turner's the worst of them. Alright, well, let's add a further one. We'll go downtime as 5 hours. We'll move Turner to that. Sun's not looking too healthy. See how you go with that, Turner. Got slime lung. Alright, how are we doing without exploring? This is a really rickety way that they have to move along this too. That ice is really melting here, I guess. Is that always looking like that, or are we really falling apart there? A really big room. Okay. From here, let's just dig straight across till we hit there. Now, in theory, all of this should collapse, right? Well, in theory, then all of this would collapse too, but... I guess not. I don't know how to address this, the amount of time it's going to take these guys to get all the way up there. Like if there'd be a quicker way, almost maybe extend this ladder, go that way straight up. I mean, it's probably about the same in the end. Let's dig out all of, well, let's just say a fire pole. Go in from there. There. In fact, we can probably say to get rid of that square there. Then it can go even lower. Now I just realized too that I put this onto power, forgetting that the point of its power isn't that it needs power, it's that it's going to generate power. So I don't want it going straight onto the onto those. It should be going onto this. What was I thinking? Okay. That's better. Alright, back down the bottom here. Slowly getting there. So, I mean, at least what we can do is we can start to build liquid tubing all this way down. We'll make a liquid bridge. Noticing the arrow. Right there. No, because the liquid's going that way. Yes. It's pumping the liquid into this guy, so we cancel that one. And then we continue going down. Now this one's going to run just alongside the pipe, just because we want to avoid that point there. Going to go down. And down. There so far. So once they sort of get down to that area, at least the piping will already be all ready to. It might inspire a few more people to head down that way. Now let's just double check on suits at the top while I think of it, because I'd imagine that, yeah, a few people have had their soiled suits that have caused liquid spills to run all the way down our base as they used to. Let's take care of that and that and all of that. Ellie, you must have really needed to go. Although I would also say if you got if you had a manual airlock, suddenly be covered in sand and everything, and that was your only way back to your home, I could imagine that soiling yourself might be option one. But it's still going up too. That's still Turner. The thing is that I don't quite understand how this is working. Is that it's just the right? It's your moral at the time. This is the thing that I think has thrown me with this. When I was looking at these and assigning more things to people, I'm like, oh wow, like look how much morale they have. As in, like that must be what they get when they level. Now I assume possibly that you get some sort of morale when you level, but that's not the sort of the end of it. It actually is that you've got to like what you're doing right now can impact what the room that you sleep in and how that looks. That might affect your morale. So things like that could potentially, I guess, be affecting Turner. All right, yep. We've also got to look at liquid for in here. I'm amazed at how fast we use our polluted water. Ah, beautiful. Look at that. All gone. So we can deconstruct those parts. And let's go see someone about getting some more polluted water. So I think what we'll do is we will dig in here. We maybe not go through the slime. The gold in there. Oh, that's alright, we'll do it. What we can do is we can dig across here. And then build a ladder. Like that. Something's not quite right about that. Let's cancel that portion of that. So we go dig 1, 2, 1, 2. Sometimes you give them a task and they're all for it. Like, let's get stuck into it. And luckily that little part of that one did get that down low enough that it won't just sort of leak over the top. And what we'll also do is we're going to build a ladder from there. About there. Actually, no, and, well, I guess all the way up. Then we also want to dig like that. So we'll put another ceiling collapse. Let's just pause for a second while we check that out. Wiped out your whole ladder. Where did that collapse from? Must have fallen from... I don't know, nothing up there seems like it's newly gone. Any printables are available. It's so long since I've been near the middle of my base. Let's just take some barbecue. Looking at the amount of people that they suggest to me and the amount of times it says like, oh no, this person farts a lot. It makes me think like, before I left Earth or wherever I left with this, did I say this? Did I say, don't ever offer me anyone that farts? I don't want that. It feels like they seem to think it's very important to me. Alright. Well, with the end of today, that'll be the end of this one. Thanks for watching. I guess I haven't got this actually up operational yet. Definitely let me know if my logic here on the way that I've set this up is wrong. So I think that as best as I can explain it is that there'll be a pump down the bottom. The pump pumps into the oil refinery. The oil refinery then pumps into the liquid reservoir. The liquid reservoir will then pump out to the liquid shutoff, which will work on a sensor that will only send it at particular times and fill this pipe to the polymer press to stop people from functioning and working it the entire time. And then from the polymer press, its natural gas goes up to the natural gas, what do we call it? The generator that I've set up there. What do we think? Do we like it? If not, let me know. Or anything else that you think I should be looking at. But until then, I'll catch you later. See ya.